It is the morning of day 4. Raven's Landing is quiet, as the ships are in the port of mainland Caesarea. The logistic phase begins by gaining 2 supply units, 1 for each town in Galloways. I also get 1 recruit per day, so I decide to introduce another cleric. I have the choice of either a cleric or a unit of peasant militia. For today, I chose a cleric. Then, I assign him to the purple banner.
So the southern Galloways has seen some severe flooding from the torrential downpours on the morning of day 4. Now, the Galloways Creek, which divides north and south Galloways, that has flooded into the southern portion because the southern Galloways is more of a lowland area. So not surprisingly, has flooded the Galloways Road, Galloways Road North, and most of the western part of the table, which is this edge here, that's all flooded. There's a little bit of flooding in the east along the small trail there, but not as bad. Northern Galloways only saw flooding of a small portion of road in the north, and that's because Northern Galloways is a little bit of a higher elevation. There's some flooding in between the hills. But other than that, this flooding has occurred right before the bridge from north to south Galloways. So that means that Yellow Force, they're lugging cannons. It would take double the amount of supplies to try to get them through these flooded roads, and the roads are all mud now. So these cannon could get stuck, and that could be a real big problem. So I don't think I'm moving my reserves, which is very unfortunate. It's going to delay my travel to Caldrine, because I really don't want to leave with my main force until my reserve has connected with them so that both forces can move out to Caldrine. But I don't know. We'll see what my queen also says, and I'm going to be under a lot of pressure, I think. So I think I'm going to report this to my queen, let her know that the weather here has been horrible, and now we have this fog that blankets north and south Galloways, basically the entire Galloways region. Well, not all of it, but it's a strip of fog that covers the length of the Galloways. So basically, it's been a mess.
Many miles away, Queen Oriana is updated using the arcane messaging crystals. Oriana still favors a quick resolution to this undead problem. I inform her that my forces will not be linking today due to the rain and flooding. Her Majesty also informs me not to request any troops, as they would be needed elsewhere. Personally, supplies are more important, and I ask for 10 more supply units from Crown funds. My queen seems willing to ship those supplies, still impressing upon me a sense of urgency, especially in her final message. In order to determine random events, Julie has her own table to roll on. Her result indicated no troops would be available, and she simply interpreted that into a message. The Queen's messaging is a fog of war element that takes place in addition to the question marks at the ends of roads. Before my scout force leaves the Table of Galloways, Table 2, I choose a card from a deck I constructed. The red color tells me the suit is to be noted. The result is a random occurrence. This time, heavy surf will affect Raven's Landing. If I had supplies shipped today, I would have to put those gems aside as if I had never received them. Fortunately, this event does not affect me today. Now that an event is resolved, my scouts can begin the journey east using the map. In the beginning, I had to wait until scouts returned to me in order to move out of a table. In the case of the Galloways, my main force would have to wait 2 days for my scouts to actually go and return from Caldrine. Now, with a flock of messenger crows from town, I can move a main force as soon as a scout reveals enemy positions and terrain on the other table. This cuts travel time by about a day. These tweaks represent the necessity to maintain communication between forces and how a simple little tweak can actually go a long way.
Okay, this is the Crimson Veil, and this is the board that I have here with this large tower. And here there's a cemetery and some woodland, an old abandoned farm. There's some rock work, ruins. All of this stuff, primarily the smaller stuff, is all randomly placed using a grid. That's how 2 Hour Wargames works. You just, label your boxes like 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and 6, and so forth. You're dividing it into 9 sections. And the only terrain that was here already is this one because that's important to the story. And then I added 1 or 2 little extra pieces just to make the table a little more interesting. Now, one thing is I want to say before I begin this game, Swordplay 2018 is very different from its predecessor, Swordplay 2015. I had to redo this video twice, and then on the third time, I realized that I was playing Swordplay 2015, not 2018. And the reason is that Swordplay 2018 is pretty much just a battle system. It's very much streamlined, very streamlined. Swordplay 2015 has a lot more rules. There's an action reaction system. The models actually, they move across the board. There's all kinds of rules. It's a little crunchier. It has more tables for you to keep track of as well, but it's a lot more detailed. So it is a more traditional kind of like adventure war game. Okay, as with all 2 Hour Wargames, we have a couple of sheets of tables here, okay? And very important is going to be this action table. Since I'm not going to be showing every single role and giving you pretty much a story, I do want to talk about this so that you know basically what some of the procedures are. So the action table is going to be very important. This is basically like an initiative table. You have the number 2 here tells me it's 2 dice, so 2 dice per side. This is taken versus the leader rep. A score of 6 is always a failure. The first thing I do before I even roll on this action table is I take 1 die and I roll. If I get a 1, 2, or 3, I gain the advantage. A 4, 5, or 6, the enemy gets the advantage. There's a couple of attributes here to keep in mind. This is the thing. Figures are not going to be moving across the board. This is what's so weird about this one. So I kind of have to get used to that. Basically, once I roll for each side, whoever passes the more d6, I go in order and take care of all of these actions. Caster class will cast a spell. That's the first action. But they're not moving. Shooter class will shoot. Again, they don't move. And then the only one that moves is the charger. So other classes can charge. So like my star can charge, and maybe my warrior can charge. Everybody except the archer and the caster can then charge. They can move in and a melee takes place. All right. The PEFs have been resolved using my own tables for the campaign. Tristan and his party are deployed across their enemy, with leader facing leader. The enemy has a skeleton archer, a ghost which is capable of psychic attacks, a hooded skeleton which is the leader of the enemy, another archer, a skelly warrior, and finally a feral vampire.
These are Sir Tristan's enemy, and they outnumber him by 1. It is important to note that Tristan can use star power to lower melee damage. Star power is represented by small white dice. The battle begins by checking advantage on the action table. Tristan wins it with a 2. Next, 2d6 for each side is rolled and cross-referenced on the action table. Both sides use their leader reps for this check. Tristan having a rep 5 and the enemy leader having a rep 4. Tristan thus beats the opposer by 1d6. This is still enough to act first. Tristan and his warband can now act first. We begin with an order of actions on the table. Casters are first on the list. Thus, Sister Guinevere says a silent prayer and lifts her holy symbol above her head. The flames of purity be unleashed on thee. She can hit one figure on either flank of the target, up to 4 inches on either side. A fireball screams towards her skeleton target. Our cleric rolls a 2d6 and compares to her rep of 4. Anything equal to or lower her rep is a passing d6. So she passed 2d6. Now each target rolls a d6 on the shooting damage table and compares it to the information on the table. The result is a duck back. In this version of swordplay, ducking back is represented by turning the figure to give its back to the opponent. When a figure has ducked back, it cannot be seen or targeted. The next check goes to the other flank of the target, who rolls a 1, thus scoring another duck back. When I am rolling these, I simply follow the table results and compare to the target's armor class. But the skeleton archer in the middle takes the full brunt of the turn undead spell that Sister Guinevere has cast. It is obliterated as I rolled over its AC. The archer is next in the order of actions. He fired and successfully hit. Now he checks the shooting damage table, rolling a 1 and causing the opposing skeleton to duck back. Next, all melee classes can charge. An infantryman thus charges the feral vampire, moving 8 inches to do so. All rolls are under the rep stat of the figure in question. The vampire has rage and rolls a 3d6 instead of the normal 2d6. He scores 2 failures with the 2 6s. The soldier scores a failure, and so both sides result in passing equal d6. This means they fight another round at -1 rep each. But this time, the vampire passes 2d6, removing the failed dice. This is 1 success more than the soldier, and so an armor class roll is made. The AC roll is a 4, which is higher than the soldier's AC of 3, and the soldier goes down. Tristan holds back his charge, and the will to fight is rolled for his side. This is a morale table, scoring 2 successes and staying in the fight. In turn 2, the undead win the action rolls and so get to act first. The ghost casts a psychic attack on the human archer, also targeting figures on either flank of the archer. After rolling for each target on the shooting damage table, confusion fills the mind of the archer and both targets on either flank of him. This includes Tristan himself. The result is each figure loses a turn. The ghost had cast a dazzling psychic spell that confused each of the figures. All that is left active on the battlefield is Sister Guinevere, who is left alone as her comrades are dazzled. Not surprisingly, the raging feral vampire charges the cleric. Guinevere fights desperately against the beast, but the dice gods fail her, and the combined effect of winning the melee table by passing more d6 and by rolling higher than her AC on the damage check means that Sister Guinevere goes down. Rest in peace, sister. Having finished all actions, any duckback results can be removed as figures return to ready mode. This ends the enemy turn. A will to fight roll is made and the dice gods fail Tristan yet again. The results on the table are checked against the leader's rep. The result of 6 is a failure, while the 3 is a pass. This means a pass of 1d6. Cross-referencing the table, we get someone leaving the battlefield. We use the same class order we see in activations. Being that our sister was taken out, next in line is the shooter. This means the archer cowardly runs away, leaving only Tristan and the ogre on the battlefield. The enemy takes initiative again. The ghost prepares a psychic blast equivalent to a damage category spell. It causes Tristan to duck back for cover. The ogre, on the other hand, is enveloped by a strange fog that blasts his mind and takes him down. Seeing his odds of defeat greatly increased by this undead enemy, Tristan uses free will and retreats.
So there you have it, folks. A defeat for Tristan. I'm going to have to send a message to my queen that I don't want to send. In retrospect, towards the end of turn 1, not attacking with Sir Tristan, I could have possibly attacked the feral vampire, maybe taken him out, maybe not. I could have used my star power if things went badly and reduced any melee damage. Of course, that could also end up in Tristan's rep being reduced. So I decided not to attack, to kind of hold Tristan, and that is one of the actions that you can do. You don't have to fight a melee. But in retrospect, that might have been a mistake, because I did have a good chance of taking out that feral vampire, which then he wouldn't have been able to take out Guinevere. But then, of course, she could have been, I don't know, attacked by someone else. Most of the figures, the enemy figures, were in duckback, which means I can't see them or attack them. And that's why turn 1, there were 2 figures that didn't attack, which was Tristan and the ogre. So that's why it was. Most of them were ducked back and we couldn't see them. Be as it may, taking out my cleric was huge, because the house rule that I have is that ghosts cannot be attacked by anyone except the cleric or magic user, right? So magic. And the cleric has spells are categorized into very broad categories. One of those is defend, which means that the caster gives everybody an AC bonus if they cast that, which I should have, but I didn't. I decided to attack instead. But basically, what I did is that the defend category not only gives a boost to armor class for the cleric and for everybody else, but it also it blesses everybody's weapons. So everybody for that turn can attack a ghost. And that's the way I did it. So I was hoping to get a chance with her to give everybody the bless spell, basically, and increase their armor class, and then they can all kind of attack the ghost and destroy the ghost, because the ghost is one of their most powerful figures. The casters are the most powerful figures, and I just didn't get to do that. The vampire ripped her apart, and that was it. She was down. You can get Swordplay 2018 and 2015 for free online. You can visit the 2 Hour Wargames website, and definitely very different. If you just want to play a simple little combat system without the intricacies of an actual war game, this is great for that. And I have ideas on how I could use this in future campaigns. Yeah, but not a good result for Tristan. Oh well, you can't win them all. I was doing really well. Can't win them all.
Today, only one supply was used since no troop movements could take place because of the floods in the Galloways. A gem marks the coming of night to the Galloways, while all of Christopher's army camps. I make a series of rolls to check for enemy activity, and on the night of day 4, the dead rise again to harass the tired defenders in northern Galloways.